How do I, 25F, tell my BF, 28M, to stop performing in the bed? Everyone, I am sure someone will relate with the problem I am facing, and I really hope to get some good advice. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 8 months. We started getting physical 2 months ago. My boyfriend has a really good physics and I was always physically attracted to him. I am in a pretty good shape as well. So I am assuming based on the many times he has told me, he is physically attracted to me as well. We have been getting physical for 2 months now and I don't feel like we have actually had any real sex. We both do the act, but for some reason I don't feel like my boyfriend is in it. He doesn't make eye contact with me, constantly talks about how good his stamina is, checks himself out in the mirror, makes moaning noises like in the adult movie, which I feel are very artificial, uses pretty much the same language adult actors use. There is hardly any foreplay involved. It feels like we are shooting an adult film. We both have previous sexual experiences, so I don't think this is his first time having it. I also don't think he has performance anxiety and hence putting on the show. I am starting to get repulsed by the thought of getting physical with him now. Every time we get physical now, I keep getting reminded of my previous partner and how good our chemistry was. I have tried having a conversation with him about this, but he always talks about how long he can do it for, which I don't expect him to last long. Instead, I would very much like him to be in the moment and enjoy it. I have tried taking a lead to get to do it differently. I have tried role-playing. Nothing has worked out. We don't have any other significant issue in our relationship and my boyfriend doesn't think of this situation as an issue. I disagree with it strongly. I don't think I am being unreasonable here. Anyone who has gone through something similar with their partners, how did you deal with it? Too long did not read. BF is behaving like he is the male protagonist in a porno movie and I am very repulsed by it. Any discussion about the topic with him has been met with "I have great stamina." I don't want to believe he doesn't know what real intimacy is. How can I approach this without causing any damage to his confidence? You've tried talking about it and it goes nowhere. The purpose of dating is to see if it's a good fit. This isn't a good fit for you. Sounds like this guy formed his entire concept of sex based off of porn. Gross. I'm not against consuming porn, but a guy who is 28 and can't have real sex is yuck. Sounds like he has watched so much porn that he thinks that is how real sex is. I think the only way to get through to him is to be very frank about it. Tell him his acting like he is in a porn movie is an active turn-off and he needs to change his attitude to sex. Are you sure you're not secretly being filmed? Sorry, gross, I know. You need to watch the movie American Psycho with him. There's a scene where the main character, a serial killer, is doing someone doggy style and he's checking himself out in the mirror and flexing for himself. He looks ridiculous as intended, and from then on you can just say, "Stop being Patrick Bateman." He sounds really cringe. I know you find him physically attractive, but take a deeper look into his character and who he is as a man. See if you really are attracted to who he is. Peace. Dude sounds so self-absorbed. Like seriously, it seems like he'd rather screw himself if he could. All of his antics would be a turn-off individually, but all together it gives serious ick vibes. I'd never let this man see me naked ever again. Edit. Are you sure there's no hidden cameras in the room? With the way he performs, I'd be looking for them. Caught my boyfriend, 24M, WN King in bed next to me, 23F. Me, 23F, and my boyfriend, 24M, have been together for about a year and a half now, and there's just something he's doing that just don't seem right. Last night I caught this man having a WNK in bed while I'm laid next to his. I thought it was just in my head at first, put out my hand on his leg to find he'd pulled his boxers halfway down his thighs and was hard. I've mentioned over previous months that I feel like he's doing it in bed next to me while I'm sleeping and he's always used the excuse, "I'm sleeping, I don't know what I'm doing." A few weeks ago I felt him pull his boxers down in bed and then back up again about half-hour later, but didn't think anything of it. Mentioned it to him and his response was, "Did I?" Anyway, last night I knew for certain he was doing it. I went downstairs and slept on the sofa, and then tonight told him why I've been in mood and upset all day. When I told him what happened, he claims he was sleeping, and that he doesn't know what he's doing when he's sleeping. I told him he's making me look like a mug and I feel like he's lying to me, and his response was, "Okay." He's lied to me about something very similar before, over months and months of me feeling like I was crazy, and now this. I know he wasn't sleeping because this man is a snorer and he wasn't snoring. I don't know what to do. Am I going crazy? Is this normal? Men, is this something you just do when you're sleeping? Like, how are you sleeping but pull your boxers halfway down and start WNING? It just doesn't seem right. This, my friends, is a legitimate example of gaslighting. I initially read the title as "Winking in Bed" and spent a good minute picturing it and trying to figure out why that's so terrible. LMAO. I don't think there's anything wrong with masturbation. Even if you're in bed together, but not if you've expressed a clear boundary and have asked him not to. I think the greater concern is the blatant gaslighting. It's time to consider exiting the relationship. People who can't take accountability for themselves, or who cross your boundaries, or gaslight are not emotionally safe people to be in a relationship with. Emotional safety is the bare minimum in a relationship. There's no reason for you to stay if you feel ready to go. You accidentally italicized most of your post because you were afraid to write wank, LMFAO. Your boyfriend is a wanker. My ex-boyfriend did this every night I stayed at his place. He had a porn addiction. Could very likely be the case here as well. He also used to make the excuse that he's doing it in his sleep. Am I, F30, selfish for breaking up with my boyfriend, M38, for wanting to be alone? I, 30 female, have been dating my wonderful boyfriend, 38, now for 3 years. We have been living together for 2 years and even share a dog together. I have been in multiple long-term relationships and I am the longest relationship he's ever been in. He is the perfect boyfriend. He is kind, patient, and treats me incredibly well. He happens to also be incredibly successful in his career, allowing him to be able to be a great provider with taking care of the rent and house bills. For the last couple of months I have been feeling sadness and I wasn't really sure why. I gave it some thought and the feeling seemed to change once I turned 30. For context, since I was 19 I had been in 3 different long-term relationships and never spent more than a couple of months being single. When I had broken up with my second ex-boyfriend, the one before my current BF, I had told myself that I would spend an entire year single so I can put myself first and figure myself out. I ended up meeting my current boyfriend literally weeks after that breakup. Since that meeting, I have never spent more than 2 weeks away from my current boyfriend. Thinking back on my adult years of life, the fact that I have never been alone started to make me sad. It made me even more sad to think that I might never get the chance again. I can feel this underlying sadness starting to make me become a worse partner. My sex drive has almost vanished. We've had sex twice this year mostly due to my fault. My boyfriend has an incredibly high sex drive and I am constantly not in the mood and feel like a constant disappointment. I feel like I'm not fully present in our daily life. It feels selfish of me to even think of breaking up with him for such a silly reason when he is great and hasn't done anything wrong. Also, the thought of having to separate him and the dog breaks my heart. What if I make a huge mistake that I can't come from? What if being alone is overrated? Too long did not read. I want to break up with my amazing boyfriend due to the fact that I have never been alone. I don't think this is about your BF. You sound depressed and a bit lost. Maybe do a bit of therapy first? I'd worry about regretting losing the perfect guy for the wrong reasons. You can break up for any reason but don't expect him to be there if you change your mind. I suggest going to therapy and figuring out what's going on internally with you. Get therapy, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. There is a reason you end up getting into long-term relationships all the time. You maybe need that companionship. I agree with others that you may be depressed and need to talk to a counselor. You can do that online now via Zoom. Maybe it's not the boyfriend but you haven't found yourself yet. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to do that alone. You can pursue your interests and hopefully find something that makes you happy. Agree with the therapy sessions before you make the break. It's what I'm doing. I think you need therapy. I did something like that when I was much younger, breaking up after 3 years of relationship with a great guy for no real reason. When I realized that being alone is not all that, it was too late. But that was my first relationship and I didn't know how life works. You're 30 and this is not your first relationship. Talk to your boyfriend about feeling depressed. Take a trip alone somewhere. See how you like being alone. Imagine him being with another girl. How do you feel about it? Imagine not being able to call him or hug him ever again. I'm a 42F and have been with my boyfriend, 37M, for almost 15 years. I'm a 42 fan, have been with my boyfriend, 37M, for almost 15 years. I recently found out that the last 7 years of our relationship has been built on dishonesty, deceit and betrayal. He has been using cocaine on and off for 7 years but every day for the last 2 years. I always thought he was a straight male but I found out that while he has been high on cocaine he has been contacting other men who are gay, bi or trans and interacting with these men through sexual messages, sexual images and sexual videos. I confronted him about this and he assures me he is 100% straight and has no recollection of any of his actions or activity with these men and that the use of cocaine turned him into something he's not. I now have my doubts about his sexuality. Can cocaine use change your sexual orientation or is he using cocaine as an excuse to hide his true identity? Honey, you know the answer to your own question, come on. Drugs can make you lose your inhibitions, but there's no drug on earth that can just fully change your sexuality. And either way cheating is cheating. 15 years is a long time. I'm so sorry this has happened to you. But don't lose any more years to someone who would do this to you. I'm sorry, he's definitely fucking other guys on cocaine and you're concerned about his exact orientation? It's a bit like locking the barn door after the horse already got out, then got high on cocaine and went down on several horses. Ma'am, why are you hung up on what his sexuality is rather than on the fact he cheated on you with these other men and women? Your boyfriend is a cokehead who cheats on you. Why would you stay? Coke doesn't change your sexual orientation. I would argue that nothing does except time and experiences over the years from person to person. But coke can certainly up the ante on sexually charged behavior. Your boyfriend isn't being honest with you or himself. Source: had a long-term boyfriend who was also a coke addict and has actually had sexual experiences with men, liked these experiences, pursued more experiences, and vehemently denied his attraction to the same sex when confronted about it. It's not changing his sexual orientation. It may lower inhibition and embolden him to pursue possible fantasies. Most likely explanation is he is bi-curious and the cocaine gives him the courage to explore his curiosity.